Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm just going to talk about some random stuff that's happening in America today. And the first subject I'm going to touch on is what's been happening over there in California with the wildfires. They're trying to blame the wildfires on the weather, the thing I'm not allowed to talk about on YouTube. That now that's completely ignoring the power lines and the dry tender, the policies that they've enacted over the last 10 years to do everything to create this scenario, right? This is 100% caused by that government over there, the California state government. And the problem I have with it is that we have this that is man-made, but not through emissions and shit like this. It's through government policies, through elected officials. And it was completely controllable and avoidable. Okay? And now all these people are sending donations, and federal funds are going to be sent over to California after the people in North Carolina have been living in tents in the snow and shit for months. I don't know. It just feels like criminal to me to send one dime to California before taking care of the people of North Carolina. That hurricane was in no way their fault, right? They had no choice in the matter. Their elected officials didn't make, policies that created hurricanes or anything like that. That was just an act of God. Now, there was no, an arsonist can't create a hurricane. So to do this, to send all this money over to California while these people of North Carolina have been suffering for months, I don't know. That blows my mind. Seriously, blows my mind. And that I see that a lot online. These people presenting this stuff that the wildfires were created by the weather, by the climate, and that's just completely bullshit. Anybody with common sense knows it is. These elected officials created that situation, and with this DEI shit, they just exacerbated it by putting incompetent people in there who's supposed to be fighting the fire. And the people of California should be outraged. Instead, a lot of them just want to blame the climate. So we'll see where that goes. The next thing is this: Trump's supposed to be, either he has or he's about to release the JFK and the MLK files and all this stuff. But I keep hearing about the files. They're gonna go through them and redact a bunch of stuff, which means just basically delete a bunch of information. If they have the power to redact whatever they don't want the people to see, then what's the point of releasing the files? And who is doing the redacting? That's what I want to know. Who the hell is going to go through these files and redact them? Who's responsible for deciding what information I get to know about what my government has been doing? Because we own that. That's our information that's being redacted. That's our government. People forget that that entire system belongs to us. It's like our car or our house or whatever object you want to point to. We own it. We pay for it. It belongs to us. And for them to hide information from us is just, that's just stomach turning to me. It's galling. That just burns my ass. The point is that even if Trump does get these files released and all this stuff, they're going to redact all the pertinent information, but he's going to say, rightfully and truthfully so, that he released the information. It's just we didn't learn anything from it because it was all redacted. So what's the point? Anyway, we have that. The whole releasing but not releasing all this classified information. We'll see. I don't know how much is going to be redacted. I would almost guarantee that all the important, pertinent information is going to be redacted, though. And I'm not throwing shade on Trump. I voted for Trump. I'm behind Trump. But I really want to see him get some stuff done. I'm really starting to... I don't know. I'm getting an uneasy feeling about this stuff, like this with the redaction and the releasing of this information. Now, this is going to be a thing that he's doing for the American people that doesn't really get done. It's not going to change anything because the important information is going to be redacted. Last administration, he built part of a wall. It didn't get finished. They just go around it, right? There's not. What the hell's the wall doing now? He tried to get rid of Obamacare, but didn't quite do that. He just, changed it a little bit, quite a bit, with the whole tax fine thing, but didn't get rid of Obamacare. He tried. He built some wall. He's going to give us some information about the MLK and the JFK files. So all of these things that he's doing don't get completed. I'm not going to say all of them. I can't say that. But a lot of these big things that he's doing, these big promises that he's making, they just don't get completed. Now, he goes through with them and attempts them or completes them, like with this thing. He's going to release the JFK files. But it's going to be redacted. It's not quite what we thought it was going to be. He did what he said he was going to do, but we don't get the information we thought we were going to get. Now, like I said, I'm not throwing shade on Trump. Maybe it's just the deep state and the globalists fighting him and manipulating all this shit around him. Everything he tries to do, they throw a monkey wrench in it. So don't get me wrong. But my point is, the thing I'm uneasy about is that I want to see him get some real shit done. It's important. They need to deport millions of people. They need to get them the hell out of this country. If it was up to me, I would make examples of a lot of them and deter people from coming over here in the future. I would make it worldwide news, global news, and stop people from wanting to come here. This is ridiculous. It's killing our economy. It's demoralizing our people, but it's changing the way we see work, right? Because they talk about the illegal immigrants picking fruit and stuff like they used to talk about slaves back in the 1800s. Who's going to pick the cotton if we free the slaves? Who's going to pick the apples if we deport the aliens? The illegal immigrants. Who's going to pick the apples? Well, we still have cotton without slaves. If that's not case in point argument right there, then you're not seeing the reality. We don't need slaves. We don't need illegal immigrants. We don't need these people. Americans can do this work. And they should do this work. It's better for the economy. If you have a bunch of 20-year-olds out there picking apples and making a decent living, yeah, apples are going to get more expensive. But those 20-year-olds will be able to afford to buy cars. And then the people working to build the cars and sell the cars and stuff, they can go buy houses. And then the people working to go buy houses can go buy other stuff. And it's a big circle, and we have more money to spend on apples and some to save. Look, people that just goes right by them. Most people, it just, the economy is all interconnected, and we help each other. Sending our jobs over to China, sending all of our manufacturing overseas, sending all of our jobs overseas, and then giving the rest of our jobs to illegal immigrants. What do we have left? Americans. White Americans, Black Americans, Native Americans, Mexican Americans, Hispanic Americans, all Americans. Americans. What's left for us? Very little. And it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Now this population thing, it doesn't seem like that big a deal on a day-to-day basis, but it is going to be a very big deal pretty soon. Japan is almost to the point where their shit's just going to collapse. Their population's diving so steeply. They're going to be faced with some tough choices here pretty quick. I think they're already, I don't know what they are, but they're already incentivizing having kids. They're already paying people to have kids, and they're still not doing it. The people aren't taking them up on it, the Japanese government. So they're either going to have to pass laws to force people to have kids, or they're going to have to import all the people, right? And importing the people, if you've followed me in my previous videos, you know that's just destroys your own culture. The Japanese culture will be gone. If they don't have children and they import more and more people from overseas, the Japanese culture is going to be gone. And they're going to get to a point where there just won't be any more Japanese. And that, to me, that's, I don't know. I've always really loved that Japanese, the samurai way, the samurai code and all that shit, their ancient culture. I've just been, I've read the books Shogun and watched that show that just came out recently, Shogun. And I've just always been fascinated and in love with that samurai Japanese culture. I really love that. And it would just be sad to see that go away. They've got a rich history, and to see them just vanish, that entire people just vanish, there's something wrong there. And it's all due to this technology, and people don't want to have kids anymore because of social media and all the pressures for women to have to be these professional elites and all this shit instead of being elite moms. They don't want to do that anymore. That's over there in Japan too. They want to be business people and professionals. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. The thing that bothers me about that, not that a woman would choose to do that, okay? Everyone should be free to choose. It's that society pressures them to. And that's wrong. A woman should be free to choose motherhood or professional lifestyle, whichever one, without any external pressures, without any judgment from some screwed up society. But that's not the world we live in. They are pressured to abandon motherhood and pressured to get abortions and all this other shit. But eventually, if they don't import a lot of people or raise their birth rate somehow, make it mandatory for women to have kids and stuff, get into some kind of dictatorship where they just force women to stay home and have kids and keep them out of the workplace, then Japan is eventually just going to collapse, and the elites will just buy up the land. People will be evacuating it because there's nothing there. People will be moving out to other countries and selling their property, and the elites will just buy it up. They'll be buying up an empty island, and just making it into whatever they want to, and normal people won't be allowed to go there. Maybe that's their plan for every country around the world. And it definitely could happen to every country around the world. And that's something to think about. But this population thing, yeah, the population's big, but it's not as big as we think. We literally have the technology to have a clean planet and to live clean, healthy lives, but we just don't do it. We just don't do it. Too much money to be made in sickness and war. So, and that's the reason the normal common people want cleanliness and peace and prosperity. We all want that. We want these things. But it's not up to us, is it? It's up to these puppets, the elite puppets that we keep electing. And I'm hoping that Donald Trump isn't one of them. Hopefully he'll get some stuff done this time. Oh, I think he already got us out of the World Economic Forum or the World Health Organization, one of those two, maybe both, I don't know. But that's a damn good thing. That's the kind of stuff that makes me think he's not a globalist. Because if he yanks us out of those global, the Paris Climate Accord, the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum, if he yanks us out of those things, then how can he be a globalist? I have my doubts about him being a globalist. Now he's got to try to undo all the bullshit that Biden did in his last couple weeks in his term, right? Or the globalist. Biden was a puppet. He doesn't even know what the hell he was signing. He was just signing shit. So now Trump's got to try to undo all this shit. He's got to undo all this crap that Biden did, just threw a monkey wrench into everything, and now Trump's got to try to straighten it out. And one thing we have to remember, and I've said it before, is that for true healing to happen, there's got to be pain. It's absolutely got to get worse before it gets better. Yes, the economy can get a boost temporarily, and don't get me wrong, we had it last time when he was in office. We had a good economy, but that's not going to last. If he would have stayed in and really been able to dig into the structure of things and started fixing it, then there would have been pain. Just like the illegal immigrants with the apples and the fruit and shit, right? But it's not just that. They're in professional jobs, blue-collar jobs where they're building houses, and these construction companies are just paying them the rock-bottom minimum instead of hiring Americans to do the job at a fair wage. It's all about these corporations making huge profits because they're paying these immigrants nothing. But anyway, so if we get rid of all those immigrants, there's gonna be some pain, right? These companies, the building is going to slow down because these companies are going to have to hire new people. The prices of fruit are going to go up. Maybe one or two harvests are going to rot because we don't buy them. That's the way it's going to be. And that's just the immigration side. The government, they gotta hack a bunch of people out of the government. The federal government. It's bloated. It's disgusting. We're paying all these people good wages to literally do nothing. They don't do anything. The FBI, the FBI is chasing down Amish people over milk. They're chasing down these people running card games. Literally, have a game of poker. They're breaking up poker games and stuff. They're doing ridiculous shit. The FBI, instead of doing something real to help Americans. Breaking up a poker game is not going to help the average American. Just not going to do it at all. Taking an Amish guy's milk and throwing him in the can for a while is not going to help America. This kind of stuff is ridiculous and it needs to stop. And when they fire a bunch of if the FBI has men to go around and do this shit, has personnel to go around and do this shit, those people can be fired. They can go get real jobs. Yep. That guy kicking in that Amish door can go lay block on a slab and build a house and actually help someone, help this planet, create more housing so there's less homelessness, whatever. So all this government is just way overbloated and it needs to be trimmed way back. And all those people are going to enter the workforce. They're either going to become jobless and that's going to, affect the economy, or they're going to go to work picking apples or building houses or doing one of the many other things, cleaning office buildings, one of the many other things that illegal immigrants do now. And the vast majority of illegal immigrants do not pay taxes, do not pay income taxes because they're illegal. They don't have a social security number to pay income taxes. They get a fake one and then they claim exempt. Because if they get caught, they're gonna, well, depending on the administration, but they're screwed anyway if they get caught. That at the very least, that ID, that fake social security number is no longer valid. So they got to get a new one and then go right back to work. So they just claim exempt. And I'm talking about this from personal experience. I've watched them and questioned them on the slab while I was building a house as to what they were doing. Because they needed help filling out the W-4. So yes, they don't pay taxes. So all these people crying about all these taxes these illegal immigrants pay, that's bullshit. They don't pay taxes. They don't have social security numbers. Get rid of them. Get them out. And if it was up to me, I would just shut down immigration 100% for about 6 months or a year, whatever it took to get the shit right. To rewrite the, holy shit, make Congress come to work an extra 7 days. I know that's a really long stretch of the imagination to make them work 99 days instead of the 92 that they're used to in a calendar year. But I think this might be worth it. Bring them in an extra 7 days, have them create some regulations for immigration that actually work for the American people and work for the immigrants who are seeking a better life. But they can't be bothered to do that. They just can't. It's not, they're investing in their stocks and they're doing different things. They're making speeches about their woke ideologies at these college campuses and stuff. And they're real busy people. I understand that. But in a perfect world, Congress would work, 99 days. In a perfect world. They'd actually spend 7 days getting something done. Because the other 92 days that they actually work is just bullshit lies. They just bullshit us and vote, pretend to vote and all this shit and call us stupid and all this other shit. You know what I mean? Call us deplorable garbage while they're up there with their bullshit lies. What bunch of how do you ever think about how could we pick the worst people out of 350 million whatever we have in this country? We picked the absolute worst and sent them to run our government. We couldn't have handpicked a worse group of people. I mean, maybe serial killers got them off a death row and sent them up there. That's the only way we could have got a worse group of people to run our country. They are liars and thieves, murderers, pedophiles. Maybe they're not. Maybe they are as bad as serial killers when you add it all up. When they're running our country, it's just mind-boggling. It's baffling to me. But anyway, that's just a few things that I wanted to talk about today. Getting back in the groove after my time off. I think I've got my equipment figured out. And just want to say hello to everybody. Thanks for sticking with me. Thank you for your patience. I sincerely appreciate it. And I will leave you there with that. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, I'll leave that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I appreciate those of you who do that. Thank you very much. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded stuff, t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, all kinds of cool stuff. But I'll leave that link down in the description for you as well. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out a lot. Thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate it. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments, or you can email us in the emails over on the channel page. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.